Senior Counsel Mukul Rodgi is representing both Supertech the builder and the Campacola residents. In an exclusive interview to Prime Property, Mukul Rodgi says the Campacola residents' unfortunate plight is being sealed by an indifferent municipal corporation.
The court itself thought that if demolition can be avoided, then it must be avoided. So the court agreed to hear an application first time, second time, it extended time to vacate. It asked the Attorney General and the Municipal Corporation of Greater Bombay to look into it and see if solution can be found. According to us, there is a solution, etc., etc. Unfortunately, the corporation had a very dogged attitude. The Attorney General has not been available for the last 2 months because he's been unwell. There has been the election fever for the last couple of months, and unfortunately the matter didn't move forward. The court gave a long rope, and the Supreme Court said that now nothing much can be done, but I have still kept the matter alive. Our application is now listed sometime in July.
Mr. Rodgi, the main grievance has been the BMC is not being humane, is not willing to arrive at a solution, and you're going even a step forward to say the Attorney General has not had the time to look into this case. So are there any legal options left before the Campacola residents? Courts are also headed for summer vacation.
No, legal options are not over. Legal options are never over. If the government or the state authorities react little more humanely and are willing to listen to our proposals, we can go to the court even in the vacations. If they are not willing to look at it at all and the matter is like a dead letter, then I am afraid the inevitable will happen.
So if the inevitable does take place, will the evicted residents be left with any legal rights? Can they, for example, seek compensation? You know, this is not a case of squatting. All those being evicted say they've paid good money.
No, legal right for what? They can go after the builder if they want to. But God knows what will happen. God knows what will happen. How long will it happen? What premises? You can't get premises. So once they are demolished, they have a right to go for compensation to the builder. They have to file a suit and show that how much they paid and this and that, and those are processes which will take a decade or two. That's not really a very viable solution.
Okay, so these residents that will be evicted do have a legal right perhaps in seeking compensation from the builder, but you don't think that's going to be easy. It may not be a viable option. But Mr. Rodgi, in one case, you're with the consumers, that is the residents of the Campacola society. In the other, you're representing a builder, which is Supertech. The courts clearly trying to make an example. In both the cases, they have shown strong disdain for the alleged builder-babu nexus. How do you react to that?
See, obviously, in every building project, ultimately the consumer will suffer. But there are cases and cases. I mean, Supertech is not a case of any nexus at all. And as far as Campacola is concerned, it was built some 20 years ago. Now, I must also tell you, you know, people have to buy what is available. People don't know the full details. If things are built, whether in the case of Campa or in other cases, rightly or wrongly, and the corporations allow buildings to come up, they allow water and electricity facilities to be there, they recover house tax, municipal tax, is it fair then for any part of the state authorities to come and say after 20 years that the building is unauthorized? This is something which I have not been able to understand. For the last 25 years, all this has gone on all across the country. Why is it that only the consumer suffers? Why is it not that the court says that you allowed the building to come up? Then let it be there jolly well and maybe recover some development charges or penal charges. I mean, demolition is also a national waste, isn't it? People are rendered homeless. Cement and steel which has gone into the building is also wasted. I mean, this is really no solution if you ask me.
But Mr. Rodgi, everyone is wondering how Supertech in the first place managed to get all the legal sanctions to go up from, what, 11 stories to 40 stories. The High Court said the builder was hand in glove with the local authorities to get the necessary sanctions. How do you react to these charges?
No, not at all. It is a matter of common knowledge and routine that sanctions are often revised. Now, I will tell you, suppose I am building a house where 2 floors are allowed, and during the time that I am building and halfway through 2 more floors are allowed, then of course I can revise the sanction and get it revised sanction on payment of certain charges and build 4 floors. In the case of Noida, Noida gave more area to the builder after originally giving the original area. So when you get more area, you can build more. Thereafter, Noida itself sells FAR. It itself sells FAR, which is commonly called, you know, the floor, the space which you can build. So if the builder purchases from Noida the right to build more upon payment, gets more land on which additional sanctions are created, then there is nothing wrong in revisions. There can be any number of revisions. So that's what has happened in this case.
In the case of Supertech, the Allahabad High Court also directed customers be refunded at 14% compound interest. What has the Supreme Court said about this, and are buyers demanding this refund?
As far as the buyers of Supertech are concerned, they are all before the Supreme Court hand in hand with the builder. They are not enforcing refund. That itself shows that the builder hasn't cheated them. Otherwise, they have taken a refund at 14%, which, you know, in 6 years or 7 years makes your money double, and they would have walked away. So nobody has come forward to take a refund. So we have not made any prayer to the court in regard to refund. Our immediate prayer was that the order of demolition should not be implemented, and that is what the Supreme Court has stated. And the Supreme Court has also told us that we will not sell any further till the court hears it, and we are not, we are not interested in selling. So we will stay put till the matter is heard.
Mr. Rodgi, the public feels courts in both the cases of Supertech and Camper Cola should have also ordered prosecution, if not jail, for officials at the municipal authorities. How do you react to that? Isn't it time this happens if we are to truly break a builder-babu nexus?
You must understand one thing, that our judicial system is so slow that even if you launch a prosecution in regard to some collusion of a babu in a municipal corporation or whatever, I mean, those things take years and years and years. So what kind of example will you set? Take any case, if some problem occurs today, forget these cases, take cases where builders have built substantial buildings and buildings have fallen down. People have lost their lives. Take the Goa case which happened last year. Every year at least 50 buildings fall in Bombay. Some due to dilapidated structures, some otherwise. And I'm sure that builders are prosecuted. But obviously, you know, these prosecutions, as I told you, take 20 years. So it's like a domino effect. If you want to do this, you prosecute. To prosecute, you must set an example. To set an example, you prosecute. But that becomes an endless thing. It takes 20 years. Who cares what happens?
These two cases highlight the need for a real estate regulator, one that oversees builders and the local authorities. Let's hope that's on the priority list of the new government.